Hey boys, I love to show my affinity for something. Everybody does, through collectibles, merch, toys. You know what better way to do that than to get something for the place you make babies? Your bed. That something is Plushies. And of course the juggernaut Smex Hotel Company, no joke, search it up, had to have made some. Okay, for reals, Nintendo is the company we all love for their amazing video games. Like their old retro ones, like Super Mario Brothers, and their newer ones, like The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. There's a chance that through all of these Nintendo games, you bought a plush from that love and gave Nintendo money. Well, Nintendo knew that they could make profitable plushies, and this goes right back to their juggernaut arcade game, Donkey Kong. Simple enough, climb the ladder and kill the ape who stole your girl. Nintendo saw the profit value in making toys for the characters in this game and licensed out a Donkey Kong plush to the company E-Tone. Who the hell is E-Tone? They made several, and they truly are a marvel of history. They look kind of odd with their plastic faces, but I don't judge. E-Tone did have a prototype Mario or Jumpman, but it just never came to be. There was also an unreleased DK Jr. plush, which nobody cares about DK Jr. in the first place, but I guess that's interesting. E-Tone's a graveyard of a company now. There's just no information on them. They just don't exist anymore. So we may never know any more info on these prototypes, but damn, I wouldn't want them anyway. Okay, let's move past the arcade era. During the release of the first Super Mario Brothers, a few more plushies would come out, like the Applause and Acme ones that would release. There would also be a few unknown ones. Avante though, thank God. Their plushies that were made for Japan look like Mario. The tags for these plushies, all they had the colors flipped, like how modern Mario looks, which is kind of weird. Because old Mario had the red and blue with the overalls. It switched, okay? Shout out to the YouTuber Lane. I used a lot of this information for this past segment from his video, so he helped me a lot. Sub to him if you're cool. The SNES days of the company, Takara would get the license to make a few, now rare, Nintendo plushies. Some of these would include Mario Kart plushies, Star Fox plushies, and even Mario RPG plushies. Takara would become what we now know as Tommy, their full name being Takara Tommy, who would have thought, and they now make several plush lines today, which we'll go over later. Hold your goddamn horses for just a second. Band Presto, I'm sure you never goddamn heard of them, also made some official Nintendo plushies, many for Super Mario World and other Mario-based games, even Mario 64, like this King Bomb plush, which is honestly pretty sweet. They now make Dragon Ball Z figures, if you were wondering. In the era of the N64, the most prevalent plush manufacturer for Nintendo was BD&A. They made talking Nintendo plushies. Let's see them in action. I'm ready to go, man. They also made beanie bag toys. They're literally just plushies. Stop being special, Nintendo, please. These BD&A beanie bag toys were almost sold exclusively through Nintendo's premier magazine, Nintendo Power. For only $20 to $30 a year, you could get cool Nintendo magazines every month. And in that magazine, there was a catalog for these odd plushies. The keychain ones, and maybe a few others, could be found in retailers though. When you found the one you wanted though, you need to fill out the order in the back, mail it with a check, and wait 8 weeks, and wow, you have a Donkey Kong plush. That was super convenient. Some you had to pre-order a game to get the plush, like Yoshi's Story, so you could get the Yoshi black and white plush. Okay. Later, in 1998, they also did a Banjo and Mumbo plush, which, honestly, is pretty sick. These Nintendo Beanie Babies can end up being very expensive and rare, and I don't own any of them, but I will. You may be waiting to hear about the iconic Kirby plush. We all know about him. Well, this was made by Bandai, and it's very iconic, and thankfully, Pat Mac has a whole video on them. Speaking of Pat Mac, he made videos about these amusement park plushies that I'll go over briefly. Basically, Play by Play and Kelly Toy made amusement park plushies for Nintendo. These were made in like the early 2000s. Play by Play made the Pokemon plushies in the amusement parks when they were blowing up before Toy Factory got the rights. I don't like any of these plushies, they look kind of weird, to be honest. But Play by Play also made Donkey Kong Country plushies and various other Mario plushies. Kelly Toy, on the other hand, had 4 characters that had many sizes. These could be found into arcades until 2007. I was born that year. I never got to see it. After all of these differing plush companies, Nintendo eventually found 2 companies that would make most of their plushies. Sony, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, and Jakks Pacific. with Little Buddy licensing most of them out to North America. Jakks Pacific would go on to make the World of Nintendo plush line, but sadly this line of plushes has either slowed down or just stopped, which is kind of sad, but they still make figures. Yeah! Sony is our modern day main Nintendo plush company. They're great at making a ton of my favorite Nintendo plushies and have shown their quality to this day. These are the ones you can easily find on store shelves. These Sony plushies would include Kirby plushies, the modern Mario All-Star sets, and practically all modern Nintendo plushies. Pokemon makes their plushies themselves with some help from Tommy, which is honestly pretty cool because although I'm not the biggest Pokemon fan, I can appreciate the quality that are put into these stuffed animals. Speaking of Tommy, they also own the Club Mochi Mochi brand, which has been recently making some pretty awesome Nintendo plushies. I have some of the Zelda ones for myself, and they're honestly pretty great in terms of quality. Build-A-Bear has also been partnering with Nintendo and Pokemon to make some stuffed animals. The Animal Crossing ones have sold like toes on the black market. I own the KK Slider one for myself, and the auto recording in it is pretty damn awesome. Getting your favorite character in plushie form is honestly such an awesome thing, even if it's god ugly. It's the character you see in your favorite game that you can now hold. And it's soft, most of the time. And it isn't just plastic, most of the time. There are plenty of more Nintendo stuffed animals, but this was just a brief history. Bye.